Hey guys, Ruben the Rager. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And I'm going to try to keep this brief, but I just want to get my feelings out on, the subject of today, which is just America in general, right? So as you can see, I'm just chilling. It's after work, so it's late. I'm about to go make food and drink a couple beers, whatever. Usual stuff that I do. And I just have been thinking about it a lot since, Charlie Kirk got straight up murked last week. And basically, I haven't been thinking so much about the event because, of course, somebody was going to take that guy out eventually. Like, you talk enough shit, somebody's going to kill you no matter what side of whatever political aisle you find yourself on. And make no mistake, Charlie Kirk was on the objectively wrong side. He was an out-and-out racist, bigoted, homophobic piece of shit. He intentionally lied, stretched the truth in a lot of things. He was fucking awful. That's his legacy. That's the truth, is that he was a horrible human being. So no, I'm not gonna do any of this empathy and he had a family. I don't give a shit. Fuck him. Okay. The thing that I'm more concerned with was not the act itself. It was the reaction to it in two ways. So one was all of these fucking nutjob right-wingers calling for civil war immediately. Trump and Fox News, there's just like some Fox News hosts that were doing it too. Just this whole machine of propaganda that immediately, and a lot of people have been comparing it to the Reichstag fires, right? Which was exactly what kicked off Hitler's regime in Germany. The fucking Nazis literally set fires themselves and then immediately started blaming the opposition, saying, "Oh, see, they did it. Oh, it was the filthy communists. They did it." Right? And they use that as justification to start curtailing people's freedoms, right? and starting an internal conflict. And it's wild that, the same tactics that the Nazis used, we're now seeing from the right in America, which we've been seeing, but, now they're just blatantly just taking a page out of their book. But they were calling for civil war and all this. And then on the opposite side, and of course, there haven't been any retractions from any of these people that claimed it was some crazy liberal with a gun. No. It's they found out the guy's a crazy right-wing nutjob because of course he was. He was even further to the right than Charlie Kirk was. So he was just straight up crazy Nazi dude. And he fucking, not one retraction. These people have no conviction. They're hypocrites. They're complete bullshit is what they are. They're entirely un-American. They hate the truth. They don't care. They want to just further their own political goals. And that's not to say the Democrats are any better. Okay, those guys are, it's all one big club. As George Carlin said, it's a big club and you ain't in it, right? It's all about the money. It's all about this. It's all about the corporations, right? That's the real enemy, okay? But on the flip side, we had like the liberals and shit coming out, and there are some people that not that I looked up to them like, oh, they're amazing people. There are some people who are usually generally right about these things. Jesse Wells, for instance, is a new sort of folk artist that's been up and coming in the last couple of years, thanks to, fucking making songs about, all the state of the world. And he had a thing of like, he had a song with lyrics in it that he wrote about Charlie Kirk. He's like, oh, it could have been you, it could have been me. Like, no, it could not have been you, Jesse, because you're a decent human being that wouldn't really need to draw that kind of ire onto yourself, right? You wouldn't be drawing that kind of negative energy, right? Not to get all super spiritual with the universe or whatever, but yeah, like karma tends to ebb and flow with the energies of the universe. Shit happens, right? It couldn't be me, and I'll tell you why, right? And so this gets to the heart of it. The reason it couldn't be me is because when somebody like me gets assassinated for political reasons, that's when you get John Brown and Lincoln, right? And Teddy. And Teddy, they tried to kill Teddy. They tried to kill Teddy Roosevelt because he was helping the working man, right? And he was gaining class consciousness. And somebody just straight up tried to pop his ass. Didn't fucking work because Teddy Roosevelt, absolute legend. But yeah, somebody like me, and by that I mean a union man, right? Which is exactly what you should be if you are American. That is the only position that you should have, is that you are a union man. You are for the union. You are for freedom. You are for systems of government which benefit the people. and specifically uphold the working class against anything else. There is a reason that you had the Union, right, of America. You had the Union fighting the Confederacy, right? It was called the Union for a reason. It was the United States. The remainder of that, it was the Union, right? Move on, and what do you have with these labor strikes? When you have a labor strike, you go and join a union. That's because the union is the default good position. That does not mean every union is perfect, right? There are some unions that are corrupt. There are some unions that are a problem. But those unions are a fraction of the concept of unions and labor rights and all this shit. So the real enemy here is capital. It's capitalists. That's who's getting mad about this. The people on, the right, whatever. And here's the thing. I am not afraid of hard work. I am ready to do some hard work because we're about to have to, okay? It's going to fucking happen, okay? Whether I want it, whether you want it, whether Trump wants it, whoever the fuck, doesn't matter what people want. Historically speaking, this is what's about to happen. We are about to have out-and-out physical conflict with those in our society who do not want freedom, who do not want protections for the working class, who think only about themselves, who are individualists, who seek to shatter the entire concept of America. And that's bad enough on its own. But to add to this, we have people saying, oh, well, I hate this country, I'm going to leave. It's terrible. You're right, the country is terrible. And I hate it too. But you can take your bougie fucking ass and leave. Go ahead. Run to Canada, run to Europe, go to whatever country will have you. And I hope you have a nice time over there. I hope you and your family are safe. I have nothing against you, right? If you are a decent human being and you can't stand it any longer, okay, I get it. But I don't want to hear one fucking peep out of you. I don't need your opinion if you leave and you make guys like me do the hard work. Guys like me have to go out in the streets. We're going to have to make noise. We're going to have to do this. And I'm not talking protests and signs. And we tried that. We have tried for centuries at this point. For like 200 fucking years, we have tried this shit. Okay? When this country was first founded, we tried to incorporate the lesser elements and say, well, we need to educate people. We've done education. We have spread education to the masses. Everyone has a fucking device. What do you think I'm recording this on? You have a device in your pocket that people could be using to educate themselves. They're choosing not to. They're using these computers. They're using these connection to all the sum of human knowledge, right? They're using it to spread hate and vitriol and anti-union sentiments. And what is union? To be a union man, what is that? As I said, it's about freedom. And I'm not talking vague generalities of freedom. I'm talking, I have a right to exist. You have a right to exist. We both have rights according to social contracts that say that we work, we get a reward. That is a union. That's what that is. And it's to say, I am an individual, you are an individual. Together we put our combined needs ahead of our individual needs. And by combining our needs in that way, we are actually promoting each other's individual freedom, security, stability, what have you. That's a union man, right? People like John Brown. If you don't know John Brown, he was an abolitionist who basically started the Civil War. He was the guy that got the Frederick Douglasses off their asses to basically do something. So Frederick Douglass is very famous and a very helpful abolitionist, right? But he was very much a liberal of his day. He sat around in upstate New York smoking cigars and lounging around and writing books and papers and trying to educate people, right? And trying to use the pen, right? The pen was mightier than the sword, that type of thing. And then it was guys like John Brown. Okay, it was guys like John Brown, it was guys like Grant and Sherman who actually had to go out and physically do something about it because these people cannot be educated. Their children, perhaps the children, right, could be educated and could be taught to actually use their brains, right, because they're not rotten to the core yet. They're just kids. But these adults, these parents who brainwash their children and tell them lies about the world and tell them everybody's out to get them and that what they should be afraid of is some migrant and they should be worried about who is having sex with who when there's two consenting adults. That those people, you're too far fucking gone. Man has suffered the indignities of ignorance for far too long. Intellectuals, all right, not to toot my own horn, but intellectuals, learned men like myself have put up with your bullshit for far too long. And if you want to call this, you want to say this is a Cold War, cool. This is going to happen whether we want it to or not. It needs to happen now. So that guys like me can set it right, put the nail in the coffin, and be done with it. Okay? I don't mind that. I am totally ready. And I have no delusions of grandeur. I am not going to be some George Washington type. I'm probably going to die in a week if this shit kicks off. Easily. Like, I'll probably go to some fucking riot somewhere and get taken out by one of these fucking APCs that for some reason local police have. I don't know why they have those. I don't know why they need those, but sure. I mean, we know why, for fascist oppression of their neighborhoods, but, you know. The point being is, I have no delusions of that. I am a classical freedom fighter in the sense that I understand exactly what Jefferson meant when he said that the tree of liberty from time to time must be replenished with the blood of tyrants and patriots. Patriots and tyrants, whichever way. I think it's patriots and tyrants. Point being, I don't think we're just going to have to take out the enemies. I think there's a lot of us that are going to have to go down swinging. But I say it like this. Somebody had to do it, and it was John Brown, right? Somebody had to fire the first shot of the Civil War. It was John Brown. Somebody had to land at Normandy, and there were countless men who fell because they just happened to be the guy in the front of the boat when those ramps came down. Okay? That shit happens all the time. There has to be somebody. Somebody has to go first. And if guys like me have to go first, fine. But if we put all this shit back together, one, it's gonna stay fucking fixed, okay? No more of this shit. No more southern states. We're gonna finish the job that Sherman fucking started, okay? And Lincoln gave you people the chance. And I'm speaking now to the South, to these proud rural Americans, right? Understand this. You are in worse of a position now than the Civil War because you don't have the logistics of your own food supply anymore. You don't have local farms and shit. I mean, the Confederacy barely had its own logistical network, but even then, they still had a better logistical network for that shit than you did. They were closer to the earth. You are further from it. I am further from it. The difference being, on the Union side, the major cities are located on the East Coast. Oh, and the West Coast, by the way, because that's California. If the majority of the population lives in these cities, then guess what? They don't need the heartland. You do. Because these cities, if something happens, they will be able to go to the other countries and say, hey, we're having a problem in our country. We're trying to get rid of all those people you already don't like. We're getting rid of the Trumps. We're getting rid of these people. And do you know what the other countries are going to say? Well, it's about fucking time. Here's a bunch of aid. Here's a bunch of help. Here are arms, ammunition, weapons. Again, this is assuming the military doesn't get involved, which we know it will, because, of course. But logistically, on the side of the civilian population, the North is going to be fine in this confrontation. They're going to do just fine, because they're going to have trading partners. They're going to have people who want the U.S. to be a stable empire again. They want us to use our might empathetically. Okay? They want us to help people. And the only way we can do that is when we are in an FDR-style America, where we promote the best and the brightest, and we do not let ignorant, stupid bastards drag us down back into the fucking jungles where we came from. Okay? We left the jungle. Man discovered fire. We have evolved. We are not perfect. We are not enlightened beings, right? We are not above conflict. We just hide our conflict behind some paperwork. So yeah, you can call me whatever fucking thing you want. A commie, a liberal, whatever the fuck you want to call me, right? And at this point, cool. I'd rather be red than dead. Simple as. And, that's the future. That's the future in the immediate state, right? In the immediate sense of the word, future, right? The near future for America is conflict, right? I'm not sure exactly what form it's going to take. I just know it's going to get ugly, and ideally, it's only going to last a little while. But hey, I mean, every time one of these things pops off, the American Civil War, the, World War II, right? It only lasts about 4 or 5 years. So, bright side, we should get the job done a lot faster because, we could be a little more efficient nowadays. But yeah, I am a union man. You should be a union man. If you want to claim to be an American, that means you stand with the union. Okay? So when all this shit kicks off and you pick a side, and believe me, you're gonna have to pick. You don't get a fucking choice anymore. You can either join the union and you can be on the right side of history with the empathetic, feeling people who care about their neighbors, who want a safe and stable world, and who want everyone to be treated equally and with respect. Or you can be on the losing side. Your choice.